Hello and welcome to everybody who has joined us on this exclusive conversation today. It's Indian football that we are going to be talking about once again. And I'm very pleased to announce that we have with us former AIFF General Secretary Mr. Shaji Prabhakaran. Thank you, sir, for taking out the time.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you.
And we also have the founder of the Juggernauts fan club for Odisha FC, Projjal Das. Thank you, Projjal.
Hey, Sam, thanks for having me on the panel.
Yeah. So, gents, we have a lot to talk about. It's been an amazingly interesting week in Indian football, like it always is. But yeah, let's get straight to the meat of the thing. What are both of your thoughts on the apparent breakthrough that has been achieved with the league now set to start on the 14th of February? I'll let Shaji sir take this first.
I think from the uncertainty of all these weeks and months, at least there is something that it will start, and more so for the players, for the fans, there will be something. So that's what the positives are, and because in any footballing ecosystem, if there is no league, then it's not the best thing for that environment and for the nation itself and for the ecosystem as well. Therefore, after all those uncertainty, the league is being announced now. So let's hope that everything goes fine from here on, and we will be able to see all the teams playing in the league, or maybe whatever the tournament it might be. Yes.
Projjal, you want to add anything to that? I know Odisha FC, there's still some uncertainty there, but your thoughts as a fan?
Yeah, most definitely. It's for the past 10, 15 years, Indian football is used to having games during this time of the season, particularly starting October, November till March. And from what has happened or transpired in the past 6 to 8 months or a year or so in Indian football, it was uh, kind of distress. Indian football is was in distress. I don't know if the clouds of uncertainty have actually gone away entirely, but yeah, I think finally it's good to have some sort of football happening, even though it's a single leg round robin or whatever the final conclusions are. And hope to see some football, and in the upcoming days, probably um, all parties and stakeholders in play come to a truce and find a long term solution for the for Indian football.
Yeah, that is exactly what every Indian football fan is hoping for right now. Staying on the topic of Odisha FC and you being a huge fan of the club, as a fan of a club which is still unsure of its participation, like we know, what are specifically the pain points for you as an Odisha FC fan? If you could just take us through all of that.
See, we are pretty comparatively a pretty newer club, if you say. I mean, past the history of the transitions or the nomenclature and shifting bases and everything. But in Odisha, as an Odisha FC fan, it's been 5 6 years. And first of all, I'd like to say the former president and club CEO, Mr. Raj Atwal, he actually gave a new dimension to how the club functioned. And under his leadership we had Ravi Bhai, who is also currently the interim CEO, and I think he's taking care of all the operations right now. The club has always tried to integrate with the fans. The communication has been clear, but in the past 6 to 8 months or a year, I would say the the uncertainty, like we are discussing, has also marred our club's stance as well. So even as fans, we do not have real clarity over what the club's vision is. And Mr. Atwell also moved on to better opportunities a week or so back. I think 7 to 10 days back, and it's I mean, beyond argument, right? I mean, eventually it's our careers, it's our professional decisions that we'll also have to take into for um, putting aside the Indian football perspective. Even you and I had we been, big stakeholders in the bigger frame of things, it would have also come down or boiled down to the fact that how do we see our careers growing in Indian football. So I don't blame him for that. But then, yeah, it's the times are uncertain. We haven't heard from the club. Um, our club owner has also gone underground, and we haven't been able to kind of set up communication with him. We have many questions, but again, hopefully, in the upcoming days, post this um, temporary, kind of a stint that we are going to have for the next few months before May 31st or before the season ends, we might get some clarity over how the club functions, going forward.
Yeah, yeah. Bringing back Shaji sir into the conversation, we now know that the Indian Super League is going to start on the 14th of February, right? The AIFF President Kalyan Chaubey also spoke about constituting a governing council that will preside over the league, right? Uh, as an administrator yourself, what are your thoughts on that, and how do you think that structure will eventually look like?
I don't, San, I don't want to predict what kind of governing council they will put, in front of all the stakeholders. But whatever the governing council they might be planning, for me, for the clubs, for the stakeholders, it has to be something very professionally structured. Yeah, where decision making has to be very transparent and timely, and it need to take bold decisions because you know uh, as we have to understand, uh, there is you are restarting everything. Yeah, therefore you have to showcase something very different if you want to be seen as what is say a vibrant property. Yeah, and there is a legacy to ISL for last so 11 seasons, and there is a perception around it, and there is some value you know points already been there. So therefore, how you are going to set everything, the world is watching very carefully, because it is not that you are ticking the box running the league. League means, it is the most vibrant football property you are going to have for 365 days. Yeah. And where the fans are connected, where the players are able to grow, and the entire ecosystem gets connected. And that's how you create the whole football ecosystem, and the football industry as such gets the energy, value, and connection. Yeah. So therefore, it is not something as easy as some might think. Yeah. Because the problem is, right now you are not sure about who is going to be your broadcaster, who is going to be your commercial partner, who is going to which are the brands going to be associated with it, and how many clubs are going to be part of it, and so many aspects. Yeah. And therefore it's a very challenging situation for everyone. Yeah. Therefore the governing board has to be something which should reflect absolute professionally driven and managed, and it should portray everything that something should surprise people. Now why I'm saying surprise people, because people might not expect anything out of it. So therefore, if it is not able to surprise, it is not going to excite the people. Yeah, the stakeholder. And because we are already minus. Yeah, in many ways, because you have gone out in the market, tendered it, and nobody has come forward. So therefore you are already in a bigger challenge. uh, because when the brands doesn't come forward, when the partners doesn't come forward, your market value diminishes considerably. Therefore, you have again, trying to launch it, to relaunch it. So how you're going to relaunch it, how you're going to, communicate around whatever you want to do. And then the most important thing is how all the stakeholders, talk in one voice. Yeah, because it is for the country, it is for everyone. Because this is the, biggest opportunity the people have got in their hand, to come out and specify every aspect as transparent as possible and walk the talk. And if
Yeah,
that happens, there may be more people ready to join your, uh, what do you say, the movement, because we are not there anywhere, because whatever we had, we have demolished it. Yeah, we are
yeah,
starting fresh, and that too, it is like a catastrophic situation. We have gone through a crisis of a very highest nature. Yeah, and therefore it is an opportunity for people who are governing the game today to come forward with something which will be, you know saying, okay, and come forward and say that, we could not do it. Now we are trying our best to do in this way, taking together everyone. Yeah, and that way it would send message. The governing council, in nutshell, has to govern the league in the most transparent and most, what to say, unbiased manner, where
yeah,
it portrays a professional structure, where the league gets value, league gets the attraction of the fans, attraction of the brands, attraction of the commercial partners, and it shows to the world that, we have learned our lesson, and we are going to relaunch, because this is a relaunch. And
yeah.
therefore, I don't want to go deeper and say, criticize whatever happened. I'm only looking forward to seeing something, where it really covers the ground for next few months, and by next season it's really ready to take off in a way where, everything looks absolutely normal, and people are there to support the growth of football in India.
Absolutely. Yeah. Projal, as a fan, from the fans' perspective, having a governing council that we've heard will, what we've been told is will interact closely with the clubs in terms of setting up the fixtures and other things. Do you feel slight hope there that the overall governance of the league, although this is a huge shift, this can be something that can improve the overall structure of the league?
I don't think so. I think we've all been in the Indian football ecosystem for quite some time now, and we have seen power shifts. We have seen new presidents and people take over the administration, and the scene has always been the same. Couple of years back, we talked about Vision 2047, but now we are even struggling to have our top tier football league in play. So that goes on to show how um, the vision is working, how broad-minded we are, how far-sighted we are, and these counseling councils or governing councils, whatever you call them, these are just fancy names and fancy nomenclatures, I would say, which are just trying to, derail fans or everyone in the ecosystem, I would say, from the main motive that we all have is to which is to actually have some good football coming in on a regular basis on a consistent basis, where we can actually focus on the promotion, relegation, or even having more than 16 17 teams, with a team being added each year and stuff like that. I mean, think about it. We are not even having 27, each team is not playing 27 games in a regular season, right? And now we have truncated it down to probably 13 14 games this season. I don't even know what the current scenario is, if they actually want to play. There are clubs which are willing to disband. There are players, foreign players moving over to other leagues. I think the top brass, which is actually taking care of administration, they'll continue to function the same way that they are currently, the players and the other stakeholders. And by other stakeholders, I mean, let's say the supporting staff, the coaches, the operating staff, the broadcasters, groundsmen, and there are many, many people who are involved in the entire ecosystem. They are the ones who are actually suffering. I'd say the top brass will anyway get their salaries, and they'll sit in their air conditioned rooms and keep playing the governing councils and different panels and board of directors and whatnot. So I don't see really, I don't see hope. You know, as far as this entire discussion is concerned, it's only going to get worse from here. For that matter, I would also just add a point, I mean, which actually Shaji also mentioned here. So the English Premier League, as we might all be knowing, it's been the modern Premier League that we say. It started off in 1992, and it took around 20-25 years to actually become profitable. The entire league to be profitable. And of course, the clubs, it's an individual perspective of the clubs. There are clubs which achieved break even in 2022, 2023, but overall, the league, by selling its broadcasting rights or the lucrative deals with organizations, memberships, tickets, the merchandise and whatnot, events, conducting events in the stadium tours, and there are so many avenues for revenue generation. Even then, it took them 20-25 years to reach break even and become profitable. So I think we're just halfway there, and uh, honestly, the marketing and promotions are also not really up to the mark where it would actually draw the Indian European footballing crowd. There are, I think, millions of football fans in India. The recent Messi tour, I think, gave us a picture of how many people, or let's say the potential that Indian football fan base has to fill up stadiums and pay premiums for tickets starting from 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, and I don't know how much, just to catch a glimpse, 2 second or 10-second glimpse of their favorite player. So the fan base is there. It's just about tapping into them, and uh, the policies or whatever the plans, marketing plans, promoting plans have to be on point so that the fans come back to the stadiums and support the club.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And it all somewhat comes back to the overall financials, right? So I think we touched upon it a little bit. So we have a roadmap now, but the financials just don't seem to add up at the moment. So if AIFF, they have promised 10% of sorry 10 crore out of the 24-25 crore that will be needed to host the league, right? And even that, the majority of that percentage, they will have to raise from sponsorships. And we have heard the new dates that a request for proposal for commercial partners will be launched in the next few days. Same will be done for broadcast partners as well, and both are expected to be closed out by the end of January. But if the tender has gone and sold once, who would buy the tender again? I mean, it's an open question to the both of you, because the importance of the league has diminished somewhat, and it's a single leg home and away fixture setup now. It the number of matches has also gone down. So commercially, is it still going to be viable for commercial entities to back the league going forward? Shaji sir?
It's a good question. The thing is that we have to understand how a sporting property works commercially. Yeah, like it's not a like go hosting a wedding ceremony, wedding function where the who the grooms and groom, the bride's family, they put all the money. Yeah, it's not that. It's very different. It's like you cannot decide today and tomorrow you go for wedding. Yeah, that also not possible. So like we have to understand, like we have to work as some professional aspect and reality as well. Yeah, like how good you are, maybe to sell something, you need time. Whether if you're selling Messi in the market, you need 6 months of time. Yeah, it doesn't happen that you need, $1 million in 15 days. Somebody will decide to put $1 million in 2 weeks time. No, that doesn't happen. Yeah, we need to be, very practical that way. And it is not a hot cake, right? Yeah, it's not that it's in demand that the brands are queuing, because we already experienced that nobody bid it. Yeah, that reflects what? That the commercially the game has not uh, able to establish its footmark. Yeah, therefore, what is the strategy you are going to adopt that you're going to get a quick win? It's not going to happen that fast unless, somebody wants to do a favor. Yeah. And that is where the biggest risk are for us, because when you go to market, if you are not getting the right partner, you will not be able to build your product to that level. And that way, the value will substantially will get diminished. And then you have a plan to go to market for the long term, 15 years, 20 years, you want to sell it off. And that too within few weeks. No, absolutely. That's the crazy. The even the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup sales happens. It takes time. It takes more than 3 years to sell everything. Yeah, you can imagine that what is the level of professional people you need, professional uh, aspects in terms of marketing, in terms of promotion, in terms of creating that brand association, and to take it to the market and to showcase that this is what we will achieve together and this is the value we will get out of it. Yeah. And when you are down, like we are 9 wicket down and we have 200 runs to get. So therefore, what you know it only happens one in 100 times that the last man will get through you all the runs or all the wickets. Yeah, absolutely. So therefore, that way, that is worrying me. Yeah, I am sure, it must be worrying all those people who understand the market, who understand how how you go and sell things, how you put a product in place. Yeah, because when you have gone for a complete reset, so therefore, what is that is where, a new people is going to come and invest into your property. And that way you have to do, because I haven't come across any valuation report. Yeah. Because when you tender it something like this, there has to be, so like you are selling your stake in the in the market, and how you're going to invest in that company is based on the valuation, right? Which gives you a clear projection and your past records. And that that we don't have. If we have, I haven't come across, I haven't seen anybody speaking, anybody sharing on it. Yeah. So therefore, what is the ISL value today? Yeah. If say Odisha FC plays, then if doesn't play, or X and Y doesn't play, or if you play the shorter version or a longer version, what how are you going to decide? It is not about putting few dollars into the game. It's about putting millions into the game. Yeah. And those who wants to put those millions, they expect a tangible return, right? Yeah. And they want to build the brand. They don't want to associate something where they put the money and then they say, okay, this is charity. Okay. There will be people who want to do charity because they still believe that, okay, this is the phase we would like to support. But then those uh, brands or companies or organizations will have limited fund to put it. Yeah. And therefore, this can only be a business proposition. A league is a business proposition. league is not a charitable proposition. We have to understand that. So everybody in the ecosystem at the end have to gain out of that business proposition. So, and that is where the clubs, the players, all those associated with the clubs and the league get value out of it, and they all have to be plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
may not be immediately, but say 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So that blueprint has to be clear, yeah, and it should make a complete logic and sense and scientifically put across, saying this is what it is. Not, some words will uh, make people come and invest. That phase we are already gone through. Yeah, there's last 3 decades, this is happening. Yeah, and the biggest of brands have come and associated with football, and that is where, our challenges, our struggles, and then, that's why I said this is where is also an opportunity, like those who were part of this initiatives. And if you are thinking that we will have new players coming into play, there were, what are the learnings we have, how we are going to go to market with new kind of vision, yeah, for the league. Yeah. And that is what I think. Let's hope there is a miracle there, and we get to some brands who are really looking towards Indian football as the brightest spot for them. And
Yeah.
if that brands coming forward and they think that they are going to play a bigger role, yeah, supporting it, and they have the global experiences, something, that's a miracle might happen. That's the only miracle possible. Yeah,
That's the
in
miracle we are
realistic
all
terms,
hoping for.
the
Yeah.
realistic terms is challenging, is tough, is difficult, is complex.
Projal, what are your thoughts on this? As a fan again, does the second round of tenders and RFPs ignite a little bit of hope in you that now a structure is in place, the dates are in, the clubs have agreed to play, something might work out?
I don't think so again. I think even when we had the entire 14 teams, 13 teams playing last season, we didn't have a prime sponsor for the entire league, right? We had Hero for quite some time, and then last season we played without a title sponsor of the league. And now that it has been brought down to, I think, 13, 14 games per team in the season, and of course, like Saji mentioned, it's not a charitable trust or organization that's going on, and the league is not just looking for someone to just put in their money. Of course, I mean, brands or organizations who are looking for some sort of attraction would rather spend their money elsewhere than invest in a league which is truncated, which is just 2 3 months long, with uncertainty of the clubs, whether clubs will be playing, the foreign players are moving out, and even the format is not decided, the grounds are not decided. I don't think any club, any organization would come, barring the only hope that we had was FSDL, who were the major stakeholders, and even they have pulled out because of the absurd demands of AIFF. I don't think there's any other organization who would come out and invest. It's not even investment, it's just a CSR activity, I would say, right now. At this point in time, where you're seeing just donating 10, 15, 20 crores. It's just CSR, and I don't think many organizations would actually look forward to it. And it's not just the primary league that we're talking about. Every market dynamic, I mean, when we talk about market dynamic or the ROI that you say, it's not just the primary league, the top tier league that you talk about. It also involves, let's say, the youth setup, the academies, the under 17s, under 15s, under 13s, the communities, amateur leagues which are present in that particular city or state, how involved and how intricately related you are to the fans, to the crowd who are coming in, not just during the matches, in the off season as well, off the pitch. So all these things, markets, I mean, corporates and organizations do look forward to all these aspects as well. When they're trying to involve or invest in a particular league, it's not just the first team's games on TV, the ones which are being broadcast, rather the ones which are happening off the pitch as well. And for that, I would say the onus is not just on AIFF, it is also on the clubs, on every single club which is taking part in the ISL or in the I League, to actually connect with the fans, to build something beyond the 90 minutes. And that's why it's called the beautiful game, right? It's not just limited to those 90 minutes on the pitch, rather how you involve with the fans and the stakeholders beyond those 90 minutes. And definitely, I mean, clubs and AIFF as a whole need to function as a unit to work on this. How you can create more in-stadia activities, how you can communicate with the fans, how you can conduct several activation centers, engagement activities off the pitch, so that more people feel included and inclusive with the club, and not just on during the match days. And probably that would in the long run acquire more eyeballs, and that's what it's all about, right? I mean, we talk about Instagram engagements, views, and whatnot. And on a broader aspect, organizations which are willing to put in crores of rupees, they would also look forward to it, right? The return of investment, and where their invested money goes actually, and not just for the 90 minutes on the pitch.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that is as important as the 90 minutes, if you ask me. The engagement with fans and act all sorts of activations that happens. And we've seen this countless, there are countless examples right in our own country as well, with IPL, with PKL, leagues like that. And yeah, there's still a long way to go there. I understand it's already 32 minutes that we've been live, and I won't hold you guys for too long now. Uh, it all boils down to this, right? That the league has a start date right now. We are still not sure how the fixtures will look like. We know every team will face every other team once, that much we know. But the bigger question still remains: what if the worst case scenario, AIFF does not get a sponsor, a commercial rights partner, or even a broadcast partner, and maybe Prasar Bharati or someone comes on board at the last minute? What happens then? Is AIFF capable as an organization to hold the ISL, to organize the ISL on its own? And if it is, how will that league look like? Shaji sir, your thoughts?
I think since the government, the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, the Honorable Minister is directly looking into this aspect. Therefore, I am quite confident that the league will go on and they will find something for the broadcasting as well, because this is where he has taken the responsibility as a minister, and he has directly involved with all the clubs in solving the problems for this season. That way, I think the money won't be a problem, because whatever the budget they have made, there is already the clubs and AIFF is contributing. They are and within that budget, they are going to operate the league. Yeah, if any sponsor come on board, that would be again a plus for the operation of the league for this season. I think most probably because of the ministry and the minister, DD Sports might be the lead broadcaster, and there may be some a digital partner in terms of streaming might come in. That looks like most probably, because whatever we have read from multiple sources, whatever we have heard. So that way, I think this season it should not be a problem, because as the league will go on, yeah. But again, how you present that, that's very important. It's not that you are having the league, but then how you're going to project that to the whole football community in India and to the market. That's very important. How the product is going to look like, where when the home games will happen, how the entire atmosphere going to be, because see, the truncated league is not a problem because India loves that side of things, because it's shorter, yeah, that way. But then how each element of the league is going to come out, yeah, and how how much talking points we will be able to generate out of that to engage the fans and the competitiveness in the league, because as we know, some of the clubs have released their players, especially their foreign players. Therefore, can we see that level of competitiveness in the league, and that is what excites the fans, yeah. And then overall product, that from the production aspect for the television and the live streaming aspect, the promotion aspect, and the whole branding, how it will go in terms of presenting the product, yeah. All that is going to have an impact not only for this season, and that is going to have a bigger impact on the way forward for the next 20 years, because you are going to go out in the market to sell your the league for 20 years. Yeah? So that way, this season should not be just having the league, how you present the league, because here for the first time it will not be organized by FSDL. It will be organized by the governing council, if so. Uh, Therefore, the everyone is looking forward to that. As Pranjal mentioned, like right now, uh, there is little expectation, absolutely, and that is where they have the opportunity to surprise. And whether they will be able to, if they are able to surprise us positively, then is good. We can celebrate it, we can salute to them, and that
Yeah,
is where, that is what I'm looking forward, and I'm hopeful there's something they should uh, turn the thing uh, in the positive way, and try to see that there is some traction on the positive side.
yeah, yeah. Projal, final words. What Shaji sir just said. Do you see hope that even if it's a truncated season this time around, and even if we do it worst case scenario without any major sponsors, the product itself will speak for itself, and going forward, this issue won't crop up again with better planning. Is that something that, as a fan, helps you sleep at night?
Well, it's always the hope that kills, right? And we have always we have always looked for the positive side of things, and ideally, these discussions should not be happening now. If we go for an idyllic utopian scenario where these discussions should have actually taken place last year, probably a couple of years ago, because this is not an overnight affair that we didn't know the MRA is going to be renewed or discussed, and the terms should have been renewed. And it's really unfortunate that at this point in time where players should be playing, we are having these discussions on who is the broadcaster, who should be the future broadcasters and stuff. Yeah, I mean, we have seen how the I League is conducted, the certainty of fixtures and the timings. We have seen how AIFF conducts the league, the I League, and versus the professionalism that FSDL had brought on board with the ISL. So again, not much hope. And as far as the product is concerned that Saji was speaking about, I think a truncated league will only make things, uh, only make matters worse from here, because for future investors and future stakeholders, they're only going to see what is the future of Indian football if after even 10, 11 years of playing, they're unable to conduct a major tournament, major league, and that to the top tier of Indian football. I really I really find it really hard for future investors to turn up and think even about investing in Indian football for the longer term. But having said that, yeah, as a football fan, we are always hopeful that there are more teams, there are more games. We kind of start playing in August and end in March. The Super Cup with Federation Cup, with all the varieties of football that we can witness, and is just hoping against hope, I guess, with the current scenario, with how things are panning out. But yeah, let's see. I hope and pray that everything falls into place. Every party, every stakeholder involved come to the fore with a proper vision in mind. And last but not the least, the players, the coaching staff, the stakeholders, and the backroom staff, everyone involved whose um, salary, whose family and bread actually runs on Indian football, they are not hampered eventually. And we have seen pleads from foreign players and Indian players alike who have come together as a unit, and they have requested AIFF and all the concerning parties to come to a conclusion and at least enable them to play football, which is their only medium of livelihood, and probably the only way they can express things out in the market. So yeah, if we're talking about the product, I think every stakeholder needs to come together onto the table and find a viable solution to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the ultimate goal. The Indian Super League is back on 14th of February, Valentine's Day, as it stands, which is slightly ironic as well. But yeah, there are still questions that remain unanswered. We'll know more in the upcoming weeks how the tender process goes, and if we indeed get to bag a few sponsorship deals. By we, I mean AIFF and Indian football at large. Once again, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us today on this very important topic. We hope to catch up with you soon. And like always, we hope that Indian football gets back to its best. In a very important year as well, when the women's teams are playing 3 Asian Cups, and we need our men to get back on the pitch as soon as possible as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you once again.
Thanks,
Pleasure.
Dan. Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.